Hey, this is M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. Well, our new album is called Nightmare, and it comes out July 27th, 2010. And it's basically the darkest record we've ever written, musically and lyrically and emotionally. It's very dedicated to our brother Jimmy, the Rev, who passed away during the making of the record. So there's a lot of depth on it, and you know, it's a hard record to listen to for a lot of people, including myself. And I think through all the pain that's in the record, it's going to be an important record for a lot of people to listen to. So we're excited about it in that aspect, but not excited about the situation that we've been through. Jimmy memories are, there's so many of them. Like, you could think of any night that you've gone out with that guy and there's a Jimmy memory. Since we're in New York, one of my favorite Jimmy memories is one of our first times in New York. We all wanted to ride the subway because we don't have subways where we're from. And so we're going, you know, downtown or whatever. And the subway's packed with people. And he's like, I'm going to do a handstand in the subway. And we're like, dude, don't do a handstand in the subway. It's just, there's too many people. You're going to hit somebody. He's like, I'm not going to hit anybody here. Just move out of the way. And we're like, why would you do a handstand in the subway? It's just so pointless. And he's like, I'm just going to do a handstand. Don't worry about it. So we're like, okay. So this guy comes walking out with a bunch of groceries. And I'm all, dude, don't hit the guy with the groceries. And he proceeds to do a handstand in the subway on the car while it's going, or the, whatever you guys call it, the subway. And his heel catches like 5 bags of groceries. And the groceries go flying all over the subway car. And his feet are up in the air with a bag hanging from his feet. And the guy's furious, obviously. There's food all over everybody. And then he gets back down. He's like, oh, you're right. I hit the guy with the groceries. So, I mean, you can instantly think of any city and you're going to have a Jimmy story that's just ridiculous. And we had to walk off the subway, obviously in shame, while me and my wife now are sitting there cleaning up all the groceries for this guy. And he's like, oh, you guys told me that I was going to knock over all the groceries, and of course I did. That's why I need you guys to take care of me. So, funny Jimmy story. Well, we made a tribute video basically for family and friends, and we were also touched by it. And we think it showed a lot of Jimmy's personality, everywhere from him being a little kid and screaming and going crazy to being on stage in front of 50,000 people at soundcheck screaming and going crazy, to doing what he did best, which was just being a good friend and drumming and being an awesome person. So we released it to a lot of the, you know, to the public, and because we were just trying to give people an idea of how much he meant to all of us. And you can go on YouTube and just type Rev Tribute, and I'm sure it's on the website somewhere. And I think we're going to release it at another date, just as like an extra thing for kids to watch once this record comes out. You know, just gives kids something to remember Jimmy by. Yeah, I think the decision to tour at all was more important to us than actually doing the tour. I think at first, you know, to take you through the process a little bit of when Jimmy passed away, we didn't really want to continue at all. And then we decided, you know, a few weeks later that we wanted to finish the record in his legacy, and you know, complete his legacy and show people what he had already written, since he had written the whole thing. After that, you know, it's all baby steps. After that, you know, we got Mike. We said we're not doing it unless there's a drummer that can play the parts right. And then we got Mike Portnoy to do that. Then we got offered a bunch of tours, and we turned everything down, and we just really didn't have any interest in going on stage. And then we thought about it, and we said, you know what? People need to hear this record, and they need to hear, you know, the last work that Jimmy did. And the only way to do that is to kind of go out and do some touring. And then we said, well, we'll go tour, but we're not touring with, we don't want a permanent drummer. We don't want to look back and see some guy back there. And, you know, because Avenged Sevenfold was all about brothers. It wasn't about, you know, being in a band. It just wasn't important to us. So then Mike Portnoy had helped us so much on the record, he came to us and said, if you guys need me to tour, I'd be glad to push all Dream Theater stuff back until next year. And I'd love to go on the road with you guys. And we felt comfortable enough with Mike. And since he's played on the record, we felt it would be a special experience and a good way to go out there. It's going to be the hardest thing in the world. But, you know, Disturbed are our friends. Stone Sour guys are our friends. Hell Yeah, those guys are our friends. And we just feel like going out on the road with some friends and the support group that's going to be out there, and having Mike Portnoy playing the drums. It's going to be really hard, and right now I don't think anyone in the band's emotionally ready for it, but that's why we're taking so much time and not touring until mid-August, because we're just giving ourselves time to kind of warm ourselves up to the idea of it. But yeah, I mean, for the kids, I think it's going to be an emotional and really cool experience. We're going to go out there and try to kick ass like we always do, and looking forward to it, but not looking forward to it. So we'll see you guys out there, but and I'm sure once the first couple weeks of shows go through, it'll get easier for us.